Nothing to do about fighting, but we're all talking about my wife.
Layla, get on your hands and knees and beg.
I don't know how you were raised, but women aren't property, and my wife definitely ain't no trophy. You should be
I don't think that line came off how he liked. So the Colby Covington Ian Garry social media battle has a part 3. And this time, the video comes from Colby Covington's official Instagram. And I've only watched about the first 10 to 15 seconds of the video before I realized what type of video this was going to be. And from those first 15 seconds, what I'm going to tell you is Colby Covington might have 1070 in Garry. It was that bad. Colby Covington's cringe, but damn, he can pull this off very, very well. I already made a video going over what Ian Garry said, and I'll probably put a clip at the beginning of the video because there's a line that Ian Garry said that I knew somebody was going to come at him for, and Colby Covington did not disappoint. So you know what? With that out of the way, let's get started, and let's look at this new video posted by Colby Covington.
Greetings, nerds and virgins. It's America's champ. And as you can see, there's nothing behind me, just like Ian Garry's resume.
Fair point. That's one thing that I think Ian Garry kind of overestimated himself on, is it's going to be very hard to call out Colby when you're not the A side of the negotiations. That's one thing that I think Ian Garry's kind of overestimated himself on, especially because he's one of the most unlikable fighters in that division, second only to Colby Covington.
We all saw your cringy-ass video, Ian. And they'll do what you're told line only works when you're the A side or Conor McGregor. Not...
Oh, shit. Yep, that's where I ended the video when I watched it by myself. Yeah, I think Colby's out for blood in this one. There's something about Colby that I feel like if you play in the Colby's game, or you make him slip up, which does happen, by the way. He did the same thing at the Leon Edwards press conference. That's why I think he went into that. He said the line that was kind of the big thing over, did he cross the line over the MMA community about Leon Edwards' dad? Leon Edwards made Colby Covington slip over his words. And I feel like Colby, as much as he's good at smack talking, he's somebody that if you play into the game and do the same thing back to him, he's going to fucking bury you. Which is what this video is, by the way. And, yeah, no, I mean, I said it before. Colby Covington is the A-side. Like, the do what you're told line, I mean, here's the thing. Even if you say it without being Conor, I'm aware that some people are going to say, well, I'm from Ireland, it's not a Conor McGregor thing, it's everybody in Dublin says it. I understand that, but at the same time, don't expect fans not to give you shit for stealing a McGregor line, because that's what we know it as. And yeah, no, Colby Covington's the A-side on the negotiations here.
Conor McGregor, you fucking cuck. Ian, you said a lot of dumb shit, but there is one thing that I'll agree with you on.
My wife definitely ain't no trophy.
Layla's not a trophy. She's a participation award.
That's the line. That's the line. Ian's just been buried by Colby Covington. That's rough. That's a rough one. I mean, I gave Ian Garry credit for turning on the comment section after saying that line, even though it was on TikTok, it wasn't on Instagram. Instagram is far more ruthless than any other social media platform. And even TikTok wasn't playing nice with you, and I know for a fact you can cultivate that comment section very, very easily. And if you're getting flamed on there, 100% Instagram was going to have a field day with you. And it was that one line in the last video that I did that I was 100%, if Colby does a part 3 to this social media beef, that is going to be the line that he goes in on. Because if you just left that out of there and just didn't bring up the whole trophy, like, first off, that's just not a good term to bring up in a video when you're trying to trash Colby Covington. Okay? Like, I'm sorry, that you should not have brought that up. I saw the participation award from a mile away, and I was like, he's gonna fucking hit him with this one.
At best, which is fitting for you in your generation. You don't dictate the terms here, cuckboy. You're a Gen Z beta, and the only time you do any dictating is when you're on your knees for the nutritionist. You're asking.
Okay, but real talk. I'm sorry. The Ian Machado Garry household has done almost nothing aside from suing people for defamation and just other like bullshit charges to decrease the rumors. And here's the thing. I can understand the turning off of the comment section, except when you're talking shit about other fighters. In that case, you deserve everything that's coming to you. I know I've brought up the stuff that he said about Neil Magny. Jeff Neal made fun of the fact that he went to prison. Okay, fuck you. Also, Vicente Luque. Bro, he was best friends with Vicente Luque, and he was making fun of him for getting baptized. Like, I'm sorry, you're a dude. I'm not saying you're a bad dude. You actually seem like a pretty decent human being. But at the same time, if you're going to make fun of a dude's religion and expect not somebody to make fun of your lifestyle, which, I'm sorry, from the outside looking in, it is a pretty weird thing that your wife is 40 years old and wrote a book of how to be a wag. I don't care if it's a joke. It's just not. It's not kosher. Not to mention your nutritionist is making you into a soy boy. You are a vegan. And on top of that, it is your now wife/girlfriend's ex-husband. Let's move on.
For gimmicks you don't even comprehend, Junior. An I quit match implies there's no disqualification and no time limit. No commission would ever approve that. And besides, we already saw you quit in December before the press conference.
Okay, this one he kind of loses me on. Because you can't on one side make fun of Ian Garry for wanting to do, let's just be real, it was another stipulation, the I quit match. I said it was dumb in the Ian Garry video. But I think the stipulations on Colby's part are also very stupid. Like, I just don't like stipulations across the board. However, the point that he brings up that I do agree on, Ian Garry didn't show up to the press conference. Like, I don't care if it was for a good reason or not. Like, you've opened yourself up. Like, the UFC 296 press conference was at the height of the Ian Garry drama hate train. That was when you threatened to sue Sean Strickland for defamation. I don't know if Guru was hit with something. I know Lucas Tracy was threatened with something, and I believe it was Red Pill MMA. That was another dude that got hit. When you start suing YouTubers for stuff that really isn't all that wrong, like defamation is making up something that you know is fake and treating it as it's the truth and using that to harass somebody. And it has to affect you in a meaningful way. And yeah, no, most defamation cases don't even make it to court. They're extremely hard to win. So if anything, he's trying to drain your resources because he has more money than a lot of these YouTubers. Like, a lot of people can't fight these cases, so they're going to have to settle out. Defamation is a bitch charge. It is. Like, it's a bully charge. Like, if you sue for defamation, I don't care how cool you are, unless you're Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, where you lost out on millions because of, like, an allegation that wasn't true, and she knew it wasn't true. This is not one of those ways, okay? Like, I'm sorry, it's a bully charge, and you know it.
You want to talk about what I'm famous for in my title fights? The only thing you're famous for is parading around a nutritionist sloppy seconds like she's Miss Universe. She's a...
Dog. Yeah, nah.
For at best. We all know you love to cuck it up, but you're about to cuck your way out of this fight, Junior. So here it is one last time. Agree to the stipulations. Stipulation number 1, turn on the comments. Stipulation number 2, record Layla Bagan. Stipulation number 3, agree to the MyBookie promo, and we got to fight.
Okay, well, he's putting the stipulations like that. And if that's the new stipulation, I mean, like, that's not terrible, but again, I hate him. Okay, let's finish off this video because he does say something very interesting at the very end.
Otherwise, I'm fighting someone higher ranked this summer, and you're doing what you do best, sitting there and watching all the action.
Whoo! That's rough. That's a rough ending. again, I'm sorry, Ian Garry does himself no favors. Because he's made himself into the heel when you have skeletons in your closet. I'm sorry. Like, you should have expected this to happen. To dissect the last few things that he said. The stipulations. These are new stipulations. In the original video, he was talking about how you have to forfeit your fight purse if you don't agree to some of these stipulations at the very end. I'm sorry, legally, you really can't do that. It's actually very hard to write up a contract to... It's an all or nothing match, because now we're getting into some labor laws that are kind of like, the UFC was investigated by, I believe it was the United States Labor Union for unconstitutional practices, and they're still getting hit with that lawsuit today, and it's supposed to conclude after UFC 300. If you don't already know, just look up UFC lawsuit. Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. And if we're gonna be real, yeah, no, an all or nothing match in the UFC is not something that the UFC can do right now. Don't get me wrong, I think they can do it. They're not going to do that. They have to beat these allegations, dude, and that's not the type of contract you can write up and beat the allegations. Like, it's looking pretty bad. But if those are the only 3 stipulations, I mean, it's still cringe. I'm docking you a point for that, but in all honesty, I think I'm going to have to give this one a 10-8, 10-7. I think I'll do 10-8 just because he did end on the stipulations. But overall, this was a great response video. And listen, I think Colby's cringe, but I think Colby pulls off the troll better than any other fighter. Like, I have to think of a fighter that can pull off the troll better. Strickland, I wouldn't even say Strickland's a troll. I don't think it's a character. It's like Strickland and Colby have beef because Strickland doesn't like that Colby plays the character and isn't a real human being. And Colby thinks Strickland's a nutcase, because that is how he is in real life. Like, it's crazy versus fake crazy. I don't think anybody out-trolls Colby Covington, genuinely. I don't think there's a single person. And I think Ian Garry playing into this game, when you're already one of the most hated fighters in the welterweight division and in the UFC, I'm sorry, yeah, no, you were fighting a losing battle. Like, I felt bad for you. I think even Chael knew, because a few hours before this video got posted, he said, we are at the point of no return talking about the Colby Covington and Ian Garry beef. And 100% Colby Covington is, I'm not saying running lines by Chael Sonnen, but if I'm Chael and I have, like, connections to Colby, I'm asking him what he's gonna make a video on. I'd be like, dude, you see what Ian Garry put out? What are you gonna say to him? You were getting flatlined. There's just no way out of it. Now, to end this video off on the last thing that he said, he is going to be fighting a higher-ranked opponent this summer? Okay, so what that tells me is that if this fight's going to happen, it's going to be happening on International Fight Week to July. I think August is a little bit weird, but I'm going to say June, July is probably when it's going to happen. Let's go to the UFC website, and let's actually try to make, let's have a little guessing game of who he could be fighting. Colby Covington ranked number 4. Ooh. A higher ranked. Okay, let's assume he means higher ranked than Ian Garry. Because let's be real, I don't think he's going to be able to get a fight with Could he get a fight with Savkat? Dude, could he actually be meaning that? Let me tell you the fights that I think he could be doing. I didn't even think about Savkat. Bilal Muhammad is most definitely going to be fighting Leon Edwards. Shavkat Rakhmonov is either going to be fighting Jack Della Maddalena or Kamaru Usman. If Kamaru Usman doesn't go up to middleweight, and I said Kamaru Usman step up to fight Brendan Allen, but he didn't do it. It was a 5-round fight, whatever. If you want to stay at welterweight, stay at welterweight. So, Colby could either be fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov. I don't think he's fighting Bilal. Kamaru might be taken up by Shavkat. It's not Jack Della Maddalena. If it's somebody higher ranked than Ian Garry, is it Gilbert Burns? Could we finally see Colby Covington versus Gilbert Burns? Because I don't know what he means by higher ranked. Because if it's higher ranked than him, then it's Shavkat. Because he's not fighting Kamaru again. He's not fighting Bilal. Bilal's probably going to be fighting Leon. Shavkat's fighting not Colby. I would give Colby credit to fight Shavkat. I don't think that's fights. I would be genuinely surprised. And if we're higher ranked than Ian Garry, which is what we're going to, We're either talking about Gilbert Burns or Jack Della Maddalena. I think Colby would take a fight with Gilbert Burns. I mean, when they're both coming off losses, there's a fight that's been rumored to happen for a while. Before Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler were the coaches of The Ultimate Fighter, they were actually going to do Colby Covington versus Gilbert Burns. That was the big rumor. And I could see that fight happening, especially now. I mean, they're both coming off losses. That's a good time to do it. Gilbert Burns is higher ranked than Ian Garry. It's a fun fight. I could see it happening. But hey, tell me in the comment section, who do you think it is? Do you think it's Shavkat Rakhmonov or Gilbert Burns? I think Jack Della Maddalena is trying to get a fight over Colby. He has expressed zero interest in fighting Colby. But there you go. I think that's going to be it for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Who do you think won? I have it a 10-8 Colby Covington, and he won the first video, lost the second video, but in the third video came back with a 10-8 round. And with that out of the way, thank you all for watching, and adios, guys.